Why are we raising poodles? When did we decide? When did my generation of parent, of teacher, of leader, when did we decide to stop raising men and women with principles, with values, with work ethic, with grit, with mental toughness, with physical toughness? When did we decide to start raising a generation of poodles? Michael McLean, brassballsvideos.com. If you want to receive these videos every day in your email box at 6 a.m., I don't take any days off. I don't miss any days. I don't rest or take a vacation. Go to brassballsvideos.com and put in your email before I get deplatformed, before I get canceled, before I get censored by this platform. It's just a matter of time. Everyday videos, the toughest advice for the toughest business men. So I'm an ex-professional hockey coach. I coached pro in my 20s. I was an assistant coach, a head coach, an assistant general manager. I've owned and coached my own championship amateur teams. So in the sport of hockey, I've worked with kids everywhere from age 5 up to age 40, amateur all the way up to pro. And I've also got 31 years of entrepreneurial experience. I have been an entrepreneur since I was 12 years old. Since I was 12 years old, like my father, like my grandfather. That's a lot of experience in the trenches. But one of the things that's on my mind and a story I want to share today is why in the hell has my generation, especially my generation, been the worst generation of parents to date? Most of my friends have teenagers now. They have kids that are in their early 20s, some of them even, early 30s. And it's just alarming. This particular age group. My daughter's 11. I work with kids that are age 5, age 10, right, the whole gamut. So I've got a snapshot in sports, in coaching, working with men like you. I've got the whole snapshot, age 5 all the way up to age 40. And I'm just astounded at the poodles, the generation of poodles that my generation and above and below is responsible for raising. In fact, there's almost been no raising at all. You're sitting here where 90% of these kids that are teenagers, they're young adults, they've been raised where it's a victim mentality, right? It's a victim mentality. My grandfather, who was made of iron, ran a general store and worked 7 days a week, 14 hours a day, every day but Christmas. My grandfather had a saying that I used to sneer at, and now I know it's right on the money. You can either be the victor or you can be the victim. You can either be the victor or you can be the victim, but you can't be both. And he used to say that right to our face. You can either be the victor, Michael, or you can be the victim, but you can't be both. Well, look at our society. Look at the children we're raising. Look at the children we've raised. And you tell me, where have most of the kids, the young adults who have been raised over the last 25 years, what side of the scale do they fall in? Are they the victor? Do they have that mindset of victory, of work, extreme hard work? Do they have a mindset and behavior of championship work ethic, championship mental toughness, championship fitness, championship health, championship, whatever? Is that the mindset that the majority of young people in society today have, especially in the West? That I am 100% accountable for my life. I am 100% responsible for every win and loss in my life. I'm 100% responsible for my independence, my control, my autonomy, my personal sovereignty. That if it's going to be, it's up to me. Is that the mindset and behaviors you see in most children, in most teenagers, in most young adults? Or have they gone on the scale thanks to our pitiful lack of parenting, most of it men, deballed, declawed, neutered husbands, neutered fathers. Oh, it's too hard. It's too hard. I might be criticized for raising my son or daughter the right way. What would other people think? That's called a deballed man. That's a low testosterone, passive aggressive, backstabbing, weak husband, weak father. And that's the foundation of all this. This isn't an equal 50-50 mom and dad. Most of our struggles when it comes to raising kids is a large percentage of fathers just never showed up. They might be physically there, but they're not mentally there. They didn't. How do you spell love? You spell love Time. Did they give their time to their children? No. Some of them aren't even physically present. So we have these generations growing up without male leadership in the household, without male leadership in their lives. And then we wonder why these children are so messed up, why they've chosen victimhood. They've chosen victimhood instead of the extreme hard work and discipline it takes for victory. A life of winning versus a life of losing. And I mean, I got to look at it and say, as a father of an 11-year-old, and I'm coaching now in skating and hockey. I coach 5-year-olds, 7-year-olds, 10-year-olds, 15-year-olds, all the way up to my pro days. And you have no idea what's coming. You have no idea what's coming. I have hockey players at the age of 5 who can't last 10 minutes on the ice. I've never saw that until the last year. Okay, my practices are an hour, they're 2 hours. I have children age 5 and 6 who can't be on the ice to play a sport they love. Could be football, could be baseball, could be soccer, could be hockey. And after 10 minutes, mommy or daddy are taking them off, they're quitting. Whose fault is that? What kid on earth doesn't want to quit after 5 or 10 minutes the first few times they do anything? Whether it's piano or chess or horseback riding, kids want to quit. And then we teach them as parents that that's not acceptable, especially when you start something. If you hate something, you dislike something, and you want to quit after that season, fill your boots. That's great. But we've got generations now of young people that don't know anything else but quitting. And this is why I've had this badass rule in my life, in my business, in my personal life. I don't cater to quitters. If a person quits on me personally, or they quit on me professionally, they unsubscribe, they cancel their subscription, they quit their job, whatever it is. A hockey player quits, there's no coming back. I don't cater to quitters. And the reason that law is more important in my world now than ever is because we're surrounded by young people who know nothing but to quit. If things don't go their way, the first thing to consider is packing it in. What happened to the hunger? What happened to the grit? What happened to the resourcefulness that made America, America? That made a country like Canada, Canada, that made the West so strong and powerful. And what's really interesting is, for parents like me, this isn't how we were raised. Our mums and dads were hard on us. Our mums and dads set the example of hard work, honesty, integrity, doing what it takes, grit, some dirt under your fingernails. But as parents, as passing the torch, we've done the exact opposite with our children. We've literally raised a generation of cupcakes, of snowflakes, and what I call poodles. man, oh man, I think it's this 8th place trophy stuff that we brought on. We brought that, not our parents, not our grandparents. We're the ones that brought that 8th place trophy mentality. Well, what do you think 8th place trophies? Not only does it punish the people that don't deserve the award, but it punishes the achievers. It punishes the champions. Why the hell should I try? Why should I put in the extra effort? Why should I show up every day? Why should I put in the reps when everybody gets the trophy? We're punishing achievement. We're punishing winning. And now in the West, Canada and the United States especially, it's like we're supposed to be embarrassed about being successful. We're supposed to be embarrassed about winning. We're supposed to be embarrassed about making money. Anything successful is toxic, right? Toxic masculinity, toxic wealth, toxic winning, you name it. It's just all the same stuff. So it's, we better get our act together here as parents, and we're going to be grandparents, and we better start looking at it and saying, what's your number one job as a parent? What's my number one job as a father? And when I think about it, I sit there and I go, my number one job as a father is to prepare my son or daughter, in my case, my daughter, to be able to live life and do business, whatever she decides on her own terms, for her to have a life of autonomy, for her to be able to be self-reliant, self-supportive, and a self-starter. So if she wants to be an entrepreneur, she has the skills and the grit and the hunger and the goals and the values and the principles to do exactly that. I need to, and my wife needs to, raise a self-reliant person. And we're doing the exact opposite. Most people are doing the exact opposite. It's like, I'm in the locker room and I'm like, your kid's 12 years old and you're tying his fucking skates. Are you joking me? He should be tying his skates when he's 5. And this is the things, like doing everything for our kids, doing everything for our teenagers, having parents, call the school or call the coach. And this is what I battled and rejected for years when I owned my own hockey team. Like, I would have a 16 or a 17-year-old who's new to my team, and the mom would text me and say, well, Jake can't be at practice tonight. And I'd be like, who the fuck is this? Oh, it's Jake's mom. And I'm like, I only deal with Jake. If Jake can't be at practice tonight, it's going to be Jake who doesn't text me, doesn't message me. It's going to be Jake who picks up the phone and calls the big bad wolf, Coach McLean, and tells me why he's not going to be at practice tonight. Do you know how many parents came up to me after their kids played for me for 1 year up to 4 years and said, you know what, Coach? I got to thank you, first of all, for all the winning and the championships. That's great. But we need to thank you more for making a man out of our son. We were lost. We didn't know what to do. He wasn't listening. He wasn't showing up on time. He wasn't caring about his studies. He was lost. And after a year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, you've made him into a self-reliant man, a human being that we're proud of. He's got kindness. He's got compassion. He's got empathy. But he's also got a vertebrae. He's also got goals. He's also got targets. He's also got dreams. He's got grit. He's got hunger. And he knows now how hard it is, how hard you have to work to have any chance in this world of winning. So thank you for the grit. Thank you for the hunger. Thank you for the leadership. The problem is most kids don't play on major sports programs like that. Most kids don't get the chance to play for Nick Saban. They don't get the chance to play for, a Mike Krzyzewski. They don't get a chance. They're depending on mom, dad, and teachers. And we're just raising cupcakes, we're raising snowflakes, and we're raising poodles. And all this patronizing of our young people, Anytime you do something for your kid or your grandkid that they could do themselves, that's called patronizing. And patronizing cripples people. It cripples people. I'm going to say that again. Anytime you do something that your child, your teenager, your athlete, your employee, whoever it is, anytime you do something for another person, in other words, you give them a fish, you don't teach them how to fish, you are patronizing them, and that patronizing cripples a human being. This program here, I shoot videos every day, I send emails every day, I write newsletters, telegrams, masterminds, and I teach my guys how to fucking fish. And it's bad for business, right? I should just be fishing for them, right? I'll do it for you. Then they'll always need me. But I'm one of those rare guys who's like, I'm going to teach you self-reliance. I'm going to teach you how to copyright. I'm going to teach you how to market. I'm going to teach you how to hire people. I'm going to teach you how to manage. I'm going to teach you how to get fit. I'm going to teach you how to improve your marriage. I'm going to teach you how to make money so that you don't need me. I teach and preach independence. I don't preach and teach dependence. I teach and preach independence. Big difference. All the parents now, all the coaches, they're just breeding and teaching dependence. You're dependent on the government. You're dependent on big pharmaceutical. You're dependent on big tech. You're dependent on Big Brother. Instead of all of it, every bit of it, on self-reliance. I want to live a life of autonomy. You can only do that if you're a self-reliant person. But the raising of poodles and cupcakes and wimps and cowards has to end, because we're sending our children out into the world eventually, and they're going to get slaughtered. They're going to get slaughtered by other cultures where they're not raising poodles. They're not raising cupcakes. They're not raising snowflakes. They're raising children that have integrity. They have backbones. They have grit. They have hunger. They have mental toughness. So that's my rant for today. I want to know what the hell happened with my generation below and above, and why we decided to raise our kids in a way where we're literally crippling them. We're literally crippling them. So the reason you need to join my email list at brassballsvideos.com, one reason: my days are numbered on this platform. I'm going to be canceled. I'm going to be deplatformed. I'm going to be censored. Okay? All of my ads have been canceled. They've been rejected. That's happened over the last 2 years. So now, some days sooner than later, you're going to wake up and you won't be able to find my videos. So if you like my Brass Balls daily rants, if you find value in the cold, hard truth about wealth, health, and happiness, then go to brassballsvideos.com and put in your email. That way, if and when, and it's going to be when, I get canceled or deplatformed, or my opinions are too harsh or too honest, you'll still receive my videos every single day at 6 a.m. for free. But you got to be on my email list. See, my email list is the backbone of my company, always has been. I've been canceled on this, canceled on that, canceled on this, censored on this. But if you're on my email list, you will continue to get my videos day after day. I don't take any days off. Every day in your righteous email box at 5:59 a.m. But you got to go to brassballsvideos.com and put in your email. I don't spam you. I don't do any of that shit. I just shoot, okay, a video that's the toughest advice for the toughest businessman. And every day I share my life. Every day I take you on a mini adventure and shoot these broken iPhone videos. There's no studio, there's no production. It's just a husband, a father, an entrepreneur like you sharing my wins and my losses. What's working for me and what's not working. brassballsvideos.com, or the day is coming very soon where you will not be able to find my videos on this platform anymore. Subscribe at brassballsvideo.com. 2 words that changed my life 2 words that can change yours. Be relentless.